What's up, everybody? Now that Doug finally figured out this how to work a computer for 25 minutes,
God.
fucking around like a retard. Now we finally can get this
talk.
thing done, get this thing started. Everybody, we're waking up with, not waking up, we're hanging with Mark and Dougie. It's close to Thanksgiving, man. First year I'm not traveling for Thanksgiving. I'm actually going to probably cook a TV dinner at my house and watch some football, man. You know, just hang out, watch a little football, some good games on, just chill out. What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Doug?
Actually, I'm going to be crazy this week. I'm working at the Comedy Cabana tomorrow, or today, I should say. I'm working there. I just worked there today, being this airs Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'm driving home 3.5 hours. Going to be with my wife, a couple of local friends. And then Friday morning, back to Myrtle Beach.
Nice.
To the Comedy Cabana.
Sounds good, man. Well, I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving to feast and enjoy. Got a lot of great topics today, man. You know, we do it every 2 weeks. I look forward to it. And we'll start out right away with my boy Trump. You know, Brady, Trump, you know how I like these people. And he gets reinstated on Twitter because Elon Musk, you know, he's about fair speech. He's not that he likes Trump, but he's about fair speech, and he's about everybody getting a right. Maybe not Kathy Griffin, but everybody else. But those people on the left, they're not happy with it, man. They're kind of going a little nutty over it. So they say that they're leaving Twitter, but are they leaving Twitter really? Will they leave Twitter? Their egos won't let them leave Twitter because that's their platform. That's how they get their 15 minutes of fame, some of these people. So, you know, I have more respect if you just leave Twitter. Stop telling me you're going to do something. Just do it. When I don't see you there anymore, then I'll start believing you. You already said you were leaving the country. That didn't happen. Now you're leaving Twitter. Doug, at this point, actions are more than words, right? How about we just do it? Just shut the fuck up and do something you say you're going to do.
Don't announce what you're going to do. If you're really that strong, you feel that strong about it, just leave. You don't need to make that proclamation as if to get somebody to pat you on the back. It seems like liberals always need acknowledgement. It's like their lives are so empty without any type of they're just soulless. So everything they do, they got to get recognition for. You know, they don't do things because it's what they want to do. They do things because they think that's what everybody else wants them to do. You know, and these are lemmings. These are fucking lemmings. These are people that, you know, just leave. If you're that unhappy, get the fuck out. Like, you know, like you said, I'm not going to, oh, guess what, everybody? This is my last time on Twitter. Get the fuck out of here then. Just leave. Don't you know? Listen, when I go to a party, if somebody shows up that I don't want to be around, I don't go, hey, I'm leaving because this guy. Hey, I'm leaving because this guy. Hey,
you just leave. You ignore the person. Ignore him. Yeah. But I think it's also funny. I think it's very funny because they've been threatening so many things. I'm leaving the country. But they don't do anything. They don't accomplish anything. I would have more respect if they said they weren't doing it and they didn't do it. Just then I have a little respect for you. But they're so full of shit, all these people. You know, they'll say on Twitter they're leaving Twitter. So how is that? It's just an oxymoron. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So. You know,
just leave. You know, and like there's some people there. What's his name? That the conspiracy guy, Alex Jones, is not back on. You know, so it's not like, you know, and you got these people like that are just like in all walks of life that are just commenting about, oh, this is going to be the destruction of democracy because he's back on Twitter. Like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you know what? Here's the greatest thing about this. My personal belief is Trump is a non-existent at this moment. You know, for the most part, even the Republican Party is not going to back him at this point. They don't want him. They don't want him. Well, you could differ. I'm just telling you, this is the way it is. He ain't going to come close to winning the nomination. I think the Republican Party is pulling away from him because we don't want any more toxicity. People just don't want any, you know, this kind of shit. And like I said, you know, I love for him to come back just to watch people lose their fucking minds. But at the same time, I rather have the country get in some sort of rhythm and a path of coexistence. But every time, you know, I was just saying, every time you hear somebody say something, it's like they're so divisive. They're so divisive. They're all scumbag. Like you just fucking made a divisive comment defining somebody who's divisive. So it's just I don't know where we're going to go from here. But geez, man.
I think Trump is going to make a big dent, believe it or not, because I think he did a great job as president while he was here. We both think that, obviously. And we all know that's full of shit. They've been trying to get this guy for 7 years and they haven't gotten him. Listen, If DeSantis runs, I'll vote for DeSantis. I will. I don't want him to run because I live in Florida and he's doing a great job. But if DeSantis doesn't run, who are you going to vote for? Pence? I mean, who are you going to vote for? The Trump is
No.
the strongest candidate. He's the strongest candidate. And I think Republicans will back him. There's some that won't. The problem is, and this is what I will agree with you, Doug. I will agree with this. Will he win? Yes. Will they give it to him? No. They will cheat. They will lie. They will steal, just like they did in Arizona. Listen, I'm going to make this real simple. We can count American Idol votes. I think there's like 20 million when Clay Aiken won. We count those votes of a 20-second commercial fucking break. We know who the winner was in 20 seconds from 20 million votes, okay? We can't get Arizona right. More people vote on American Idol than the state of Arizona. We can't get the state of Arizona right or Nevada right, but it takes a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. Ridiculous. So they will, and the longer it goes, the more they cheat. So where you are correct, where I think you're correct, it's both opinion based, but where I think you're correct is he could win. They will not let him win. They will do anything. And that's why they're doing all these allegations again. They're drawing it up. They don't care about Trump anymore. It's old hat. Okay. The reason why they're bringing it up because they know he will put a dent. He will put a dent. He's a powerful speaker. He's a powerful speaker and he has a big fan base. He has a very big fan base. So he can win. I will definitely vote for him unless DeSantis runs and then I'll vote for DeSantis, but we'll see what happens.
I will vote for whoever the Republican candidate is, of course, unless it's like Hitler. If actually Hitler comes back from the dead and the Republicans get him to run. But other than that, I mean, we're looking at, I love when Biden went out there after because 75% of America says the country's in the wrong direction. You're going to do anything different? He's like, I'm not doing anything different.
And what is the other 25% thinking? If 75, how is not 100% of the people think? I mean, there's nothing gone right in this administration. Listen, there's been administrations before where there were poor. The Bush administration was a poor administration. It was, and I'm a Republican, but there was some things done right. There was some things done right. This administration, I don't think any liberal or anybody can tell you anything that has been done right. I don't think anything has been done right. Listen, me and Doug want to hear from you guys. If there's something that you're strong about Biden, listen, all you guys that voted for Biden, there's got to be something you like. There's got to be something you like. I want to hear what he's done correctly because maybe I've overlooked it, man. Maybe my hatred for Biden is so strong, I haven't seen what he's done right. Gas is no good. Unemployment's no good. Race relations is no good. Open borders is no good. Drugs coming into the country is no good. So please tell me what you like that he has done. I know he hasn't said any mean tweets. I noticed that, and that is a good thing. I get that. He doesn't know what room he's in, so he can't say mean tweets. But the point I'm getting at, if there's something that you like this man has done, please let us know. I'll have you on the show. Please let me know what he has done right because we're missing.
Yeah.
We are missing.
Like it's funny. He was quoted as saying, "When I came into this administration, I inherited a big mess. Yeah, inflation was 1.6%, gas was $1.80. And the only thing he's reflecting
we were building
on is
a wall. The borders were closed. Crime was better. Everything. You can name
the pandemic. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we'd have President Trump at the moment. The only reason we got Biden is because there was a pandemic and there was a million reasons to hate the man even more than they did. And then that was it.
I think the reason why we don't have Biden, we don't have Trump, is because we got cheated. It's plain and simple, dude. We were winning every state at 3 a.m, and we lost every state. I think we completely were cheated. I think we'll be.
Well,
cheated.
they think now they're accusing Fetterman. They said most of the votes he got were mail-in votes. And they're questioning his. Come
on, Doug. Come on, stop. How the fuck does anybody vote for Fetterman? He looks like a gargoyle. He can't. I know he had a stroke, and I feel bad for him. I do feel bad for him. But he's a gargoyle. His family are gargoyles. Do you see how nice DeSantis family looked? He looks like fucking Lurch on steroids. He looks terrible, dude. And it's not even that he looks. He can't speak. He can't. And Dr. Oz is the opposite. The guy's a fucking genius. He's wrote books. He's a smart guy. I don't know if you know politics, but this other guy, who in their right mind voted for Fetterman? Seriously, what were you thinking about when?
Well, you know what? The people of Pennsylvania deserve that fucking lurch-looking bastard. And you know what? I don't give a shit. I know people in Pennsylvania. Half of them I like, half of them I think are scumbags. Listen, all I know is you voted for him. You deal with the shit. And when people are getting shot in the street and it looks like every day is a fucking purge, just remember that you voted for that gargoyle-looking chimpanzee.
Wasn't he like a heroin addict? Like 8 years ago, he was like a heroin addict, and I think he wanted to let everybody out of the prisons with like heavy drug charges, like heroin. Seriously,
mass murderers. He wanted to let murderers out. He didn't give a shit. It wasn't just druggy.
with his resume, I don't think he could work at Burger King. I think if you had a heroin problem, I don't think he could work at Burger King, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But he's running a
yeah,
country, so I mean, he's running a
absolutely.
state. We'll
Well,
get past that.
on,
But let's talk about something positive. We'll talk about something that you were actually good at. You're a very good soccer player. Well, let's talk about the World Cup, brother. I actually, you know what?
uh,
I think soccer is a very boring sport. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it's a boring sport. It's skill, but I just think it's slow. It's very slow. But for some reason, the World Cup, it's a whole bunch of countries, man. It's like it's actually exciting. The World Cup is even to me is exciting. I can't watch like regular soccer, but the World Cup is cool, man. It's like all these countries that are coming together and playing for one trophy, man. It's actually a very cool thing, bro. And
the
it's
biggest
probably
sporting event, the
yeah, in the
biggest
world.
sporting event on earth.
Yep.
But here's the thing: if you're going to go to the game in Qatar or Qatar, whatever it is, a couple different pronunciations. If you're going to go, you can't have booze. You can drink before you get in there, but you can't have booze at the first time. You know, you could get it in some of these places, but you can't buy booze while you're in the game. Which
And I'll tell you
you know,
what. Okay.
and Budweiser is
I
one
have
of
no
the biggest sponsors in the fucking
yeah.
thing, and they can't get what no booze. You know what I mean?
Well, you know why? You know why? Because it's a Muslim country and they don't drink alcohol. But you know, it's funny. Then you can't host a sport if you have rules and regulations that you can't have. If I want to go to soccer and watch and drink a fucking beer, let me drink a beer. Just because you don't drink a beer because you're Muslim, that's your problem. It ain't mine. So if you want to host an event, for future countries, you allow what people allowed to want you. It's open. Listen, your country you can't have something doesn't mean the world can't have it. Okay, so this is an event that
Mm.
you want to host. I think you should have a beer or two. Now it gets to a point. Some of these soccer players are out of their fucking minds anyway. Because it's like them. I don't know if you've ever been to a soccer game in another country, but those people are out of their fucking minds. They want to kill each other. So some of these people shouldn't have beer. So I get it. So I get some of these people, but I have a problem with that because, like I said, it's freedom. It's freedom. We have freedom in the world, and you shouldn't tell me because you don't drink a beer. You shouldn't say the whole world can't have a beer
They
while
are
they're
the
watching
host
soccer.
country, though, Mark. They're the host country, so it's like if you go to somebody's house for dinner and they're vegans, you know, you got to
A
know.
little
You go in
different,
there, you
though.
got to
A little
fucking
different. I'll
yeah.
tell you why it's a little different. It's a little different. I get it. They're the host country. They shouldn't be the host country. The reason why I say it's different because this is a world event. I know it's at your house, but it's in a world event. So you're telling everybody that they can't have something because you don't believe in it. It's a little different than
Well,
your
not only
house.
that. I mean, why did that? Obviously, this was just sprung out 2 weeks ago when they were bidding for the fucking World Cup. The Qatar should have said, "Hey, by the way, if we
We
do
don't have
get the
alcohol.
World Cup, nobody's going to be able to drink," and that may have
Yeah.
definitely influenced. You know, well, if anything, it definitely sets a precedent whether or not any of these countries will do it again.
Let's see the
You know,
sponsors.
Budweiser. You know,
Budweiser's a big
Budweiser will
sponsor.
pull. You know, Budweiser will
Yeah.
pull it. Like, look, I'm not going to
Yep.
sponsor it if I, I'm not going to serve alcohol at the fucking games. You know,
Yeah.
another part of the World Cup, and our producer put the story up already, was uh, World Cup teams in Qatar. Because again, not only is a Muslim country not don't drink liquor, but Muslim companies have no tolerance for homosexuality. And World Cup teams they're supposed to wear some armband regarding FIFA, one, but no more. None of that shit's happening. So, which comes at a bad. We have next story you're going to cover, uh, which happened in the gay community, but you know,
But here how I feel about that, and we all both have opinions. Listen, you shouldn't have to wear an armband for LGBTQ anyway. I don't wear an armband for being straight. So I don't need an armband for being gay. So I don't think we need one anyway. You shouldn't be against it. You shouldn't be for it. It's like who gives a fuck? It's your own sexuality. We shouldn't have to wear something to express gays or non-gay or straight.
yeah.
I think
But
that's all
here's the thing.
anyway.
Here's the thing, Mark. Here's the thing. Nobody's getting beaten up for being heterosexual.
I get it. I get
Nobody's
it. I get
nobody's
it.
being discriminated for that. So I
Nobody
understand the
should be
need
beaten
for.
up. But wearing an armband is not getting beat up. Okay, there's two different things. You shouldn't have to wear an armband celebrating gayness. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't beat anybody up either. Those are two extremes, Doug. It's an extreme here and an extreme here. Why can't we just have some
Well,
middle? Play fucking soccer
well,
and not
I'm
worry
just
about being
saying.
straight or gay.
I'm just saying I understand the plight for the equality of it, and we're going to tell the story now, but a lot of these things are happening because it's being shoved down people's faces. I don't think anybody should go out and shoot anybody, obviously, and it's a horrible thing that happened. Which story we're going to cover, but I average people are like coming up to me saying, "Why is it that every commercial I watch has a gay couple on it? Why is it, and or this other shit?" And and
They're
it's one thing,
shoving it
okay,
down our
whatever.
throats.
That's
Yeah, they're
one
shoving
thing,
it
but
down our throats.
why does the gay couple have to kiss? Why isn't the heterosexual couple kissing? You know what I mean? So it's almost like it's like, okay, there's other people that just, enough of just live, just
But
like
why
you
do we
said.
have to show sexuality anyway? Either way, Doug. Why do we have to show sexuality? Why can't it just be two people? It doesn't matter if they're gay or not. Who cares if they're gay? Well, why does it have to make a point to show that they're gay? I mean,
Well,
who
exactly. That's
cares?
my point.
Why make
As
that
long as
point?
there's,
Exactly.
if you have two guys in a house and they have a baby and they're taking care of the baby, you don't need
Right.
them to kiss. You can assume they're a
No.
gay couple. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
great. Good for
Yeah.
them.
And that's the point I was getting at. But that, Doug, that was the point I was getting at. There's extremes on both sides. Okay, obviously you shouldn't beat up anybody, whether it be gay, straight. You shouldn't beat them up anyway. So that's an extreme. And then an extreme wearing fucking armbands for gay people is an extreme. Why can't we just fucking be human beings? And if you're gay, God bless you. If you're not gay, God bless you. Who gives a fuck? You shouldn't have to put so many gay people in movies. You should put the best person for the job, no matter what it is.
Mm.
Black, white, blue, green, yellow, orange. It doesn't matter. The best person gets the job. That's it. In America, it's
I
not
didn't
that
know.
way anymore.
I didn't know Smurfs were trying to get movie parts. Fucking
But you know
and
what I'm
Kermit the
saying, Doug.
Frog.
It's. I think me and you, we have the same. We think the same, and we express it differently. That's why we have a show, and that's what I love about us is that we have different opinions. Mine are obviously more smarter than yours are, but we both have opinions.
More smarter.
More smarter. That didn't even sound good, right? I'm very smart. I go to school. But no, but it's nice to have different opinions about it. But I just think everything's extreme in the United States, and we don't need extremism anymore. We need just to get along. We all know that you shouldn't
Mm.
do that, but I get that and we're going to get to the next story about the 5 people being killed, which is very sad. If they were straight or gay, it's a sad thing when human life is gone. Good human life is gone, whether you're gay, straight, black, or white. Good human life is a shame. It is a shame when people die that aren't good people. Not so sad. But not for me, at least, not so sad. But this was a sad thing. But we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
Well, obviously in Colorado Springs, a gay bar, 5 people were killed and gunned down in the bar. And the thing that's interesting is every liberal on Twitter is blaming the Republican Party for this shooting.
Mhm.
Again, if you don't want, here's the thing that just makes things worse. There are people in this country that weren't even remotely racist that in the last few years have become a bit racist because of the pressure put on them and this shit. There are people that never had a problem with gay people, but now that it's been
Division.
pushed and pushed, some people are getting like, "What? All right, hold on a second," but here's the thing: when you have liberals now just labeling all Republicans as gay bashers and look, oh, it's the Republican Party. This is why this happens. No, this doesn't happen because of that. There's many reasons why this shit happens. Multiple of reasons, ignorance, all kinds of shit, evil. It has nothing to do with it. And
Education.
somebody has to take the blame. One person? No, I don't think so. It's a societal issue. And all that does when every liberal sits there and points the finger at a fucking Republican, all you're doing is fueling another asshole to say, well, fuck you. Guess what I'm going to do now? You know what I mean? Oh, really? It's becoming a war. Becoming a war. It's that
Oh,
simple.
what I was going to say with that, I'll just add something to it. You said it correctly, and I like what you said, but the problem is the division. We have a lot of division in this country, and we keep the country divided because the government's stronger when we keep the country divided. So we're taught to hate by the news. Human beings don't hate. We're babies. We don't hate. We play with everybody. We learn to hate by the government, by TV. That's how we learn to hate. When we show the news of a black man killing a white person killing a black person, we always make it a race. We don't say 2 people killed. They always make it a race thing. So after a while, we're not a very intelligent human beings. We're not very smart. And we're easily manipulated. So that's the problem. We're very easily manipulated, and you could see how it has manipulated a lot of people. You could see how it's gotten worse over the last 6 years because how they've pushed. Like you said, they've pushed conservatives being racist and non-conservatives not being racist, and that's the problem. And it's not true. There's racism in everybody. Everybody has a racism.
One way or the other, the media have caused people to choose a side. And where people were indifferent about stuff, the people who were indifferent or in the middle are having to choose sides, and they're weighing out their own belief systems, and they're making a decision, you know, and that's all it is, And
Mhm.
listen, like you, everybody knows this. I judge people based on their behavior and their actions. I don't give a fuck, whatever it is, all right. But that doesn't mean if I feel what I say about the homosexual community You know what I mean? About all this being pushed and all this being pushed. I'm just saying that that's why groups or society is reacting the way it is. And it's an observation. Somebody will say, "Well, you're against gay." There's so many gay people in my family, for God's sakes. I'm not against gay. I love every person on earth. It's just that when somebody pushes something, it causes people to go, well, enough
Yeah.
already. You know,
Mhm.
like the transgender thing. Enough. That's where listen. Even the LGBTQ doesn't even want to be part of the transgender community. Like they don't want them part of that. Their whole storyline. They
You
don't
know what
want
the
them to be
problem is,
part of their
Doug?
fight.
You know what the problem is, Doug? Everybody has the right to believe what they want, and the problem is everybody is forced to believe a certain way. Like you should never harm anybody, never, for no reason at all. But if you want to believe a certain way because you're a religious person, as long as you're not harming somebody or out there harming anybody, if you don't want to bake a cake because it's against your belief, that's you. Then go to another bakery. There's 5 fucking thousand bakeries. Okay, you can go to any bakery you want. That guy, I wouldn't give the guy the business. If I was a homosexual and he didn't want to bake me a cake, I'd be like, "Fuck you." I'll go to a guy that wants to bake me a cake. You know what I'm saying? But everybody should have the right to believe in what they believe in, whether it be nonsense or not, as long as the actions don't come out. Now, when the actions come out,
Right.
then there's a problem. Okay.
Yeah. When there's harm and there's things that infringe on other people's rights,
Mhm.
that's just the way it is. And if like you said, if a business owner chooses not to serve somebody, that's doing it at their own risk.
On them.
It's
Yeah.
doing it at their own risk. People aren't going to do something like that, not make money because of just, and,
Yeah. Some people have
and
strong religious beliefs. They believe strong religious beliefs. Some people do. I don't, but some people do.
people that listen, the gay, I think for the most part, here's the thing, it's always the fringe, right? The majority of gay people don't really give a shit. They go in their lives and stuff. It's just that fringe of fucking people. It has nothing to do with
They're
homosexuality. It has to
looking
do
for
with
something to complain about.
their
There's
people,
people out there
regardless.
that are looking. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They regardless of race and all that shit. They're just people that want to fucking stir up the pot and they want to get attention and they want to do all this shit. You know what I mean?
They're
And
called
that's just it.
disruptors, Doug. Doug, hold on a second. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. They're called disruptors. It's the same people out there that wait for a black person to be killed by a white police officer so they could steal some shoes and get a Louis Vuitton purse. They look for reasons to have bad behavior. They look for reasons. Listen, there's 350 million people in the United States. There's always going to be bad behavior. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. I think overall, as a country, we're not a racist country. I really, truly believe that. I truly believe that. Okay. When you're dealing with 350 million people, you're going to have all types you can have assholes, you can have racists. You can't control it. 350 million people can't be one way. Okay. But overall, this is a pretty damn good country and we pretty much get along. The only time we don't get along is when you watch TV and they tell you how bad white people are and how bad black people are. And that's when you have a problem. But every day
Yeah.
people come in here, there's no issue. I don't
Yeah.
see an issue every day in my life.
Exactly.
You know, so let's get into something else because we have a lot of good topics and they're taking a little longer than I want to, but we need to explain them, man. They're good topics. The next one's a little more of a fun topic, but not that it's a fun, but it's kind of a ridiculous topic.
A
Woody
story.
Harrelson, this is years ago. Woody Harrelson recalling that him in Thailand with Michael J. Fox drank cobra blood. That's kind of crazy. And this was back 30 years ago. Is that a cult thing, Doug? I mean, why would you drink cobra blood? I mean, I can understand if you're looking for a health cure. I know Michael J. Fox has got some issues, and maybe someone told him that. I don't know the true story behind this because they don't really tell you in the story. But wow, man, that's pretty crazy. Drinking blood of anything is crazy.
Like,
But
what's
cobra
the
blood?
what's the craziest thing you've ever done because a friend tempted you to do it?
Okay. The craziest thing I've ever done as far as eating, we'll talk about food, and I've done crazy things in my life, and no one's ever tempted me. I'm my own brain, my own mind, and I've done things on my own, and I'm usually the one that tempts people. I'm the
He's
opposite
more
person. But the
smarter than
crazy,
average bear.
but the craziest thing I ever did, and I didn't mean to do it. When I was in the Philippines, I was hungry. It was like 2 a.m. I was drunk, whatever, and I went to this little stand. There was a meat stick for like 20 cents. On the side of the road. I'm like, this looks good. So I got like 3 meat sticks and I started eating them. I'm like, that shit's pretty good. What is it? Dog. It's dog. I'm like, what?
Uh,
Rough dog. So I
yeah.
accidentally ate dog. So that was pretty
Yeah.
crazy. I
Next
thought.
thing
I
you
mean, I
know,
wouldn't do it again.
Next thing you know,
I
Mark's like,
scratched
oh,
it. I had a
that's
flea
pretty good.
problem. They took me to the vet. I was okay.
Yeah.
But no, that was
He got worms. Said Mark had
exactly.
worms a week
Stay,
later.
stay, stay. But what about you,
Yeah.
Doug? What's the craziest thing you ever ate?
I don't know about eating. Well, one time
Or did?
the first time I ever ate sushi, I was with my buddy Steve Pilar, I remember his name. Gray Wolf, my karate buddy, taekwondo buddy. And my first time I went to eat sushi, and there was wasabi on the thing, and I go, "What's that?" And my buddy Steve goes, "Oh, that's green tea ice. That's green tea ice cream." I'm like, "Oh," so I took it all and I ate it. Fucking,
No, fuck
uh,
million.
yeah, you know what I mean. But like challenges, like can you walk? There was like canals in Florida, and there was like these pipes, the sewer pipes that used to go like a
I remember
bridge
them.
across the
Seafood
canal.
canal. Yep.
Yeah, so I remember, yeah, C-14, and there said, "Hey, you want to? I dare you to walk across that shit."
Alligators. A lot of alligators.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but then back then you didn't give a shit, so you walk across and
Yeah.
do your impression of the
I did that all the time.
tightrope
I walked
walker.
across the. Yep.
Absolutely,
I did it all the time.
yeah.
Now you had to done something a little crazy than that. Come on, man. I know you, Doug. I know you a long time. You're a little out of your mind, brother. There's something a little nutty. Okay, I know you can't. There's only so many things you can talk about.
Well, what I mean? No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I took like Tabasco. I ended up drinking Tabasco, a
Oh,
couple big
oh.
shots of Tabasco. Had water coming out of my nose. It's just crazy,
So I think that's great. I watch people do these one chip challenges and these hot tamales, and I like almost die from it. Like, what satisfaction do you get from eating something so spicy where your eyes turn red and you
Yeah.
just puke? Like, I don't get it. Like, that's not manly. That's stupidity. There's certain things, and I'll tell you the craziest things I see is those parkour guys, those guys that jump from building to building with no net, I mean, a lot of people get killed, but those people are out of their
Yeah.
minds. Like, that is another level out of their minds. Another level.
Yeah, you
Something I
remember?
would
You remember? It was a
never
few years. Remember a few years ago, it was big. The thing for TikTok to take those photos, like hanging, like
Yep.
those. You remember,
Your
right? People on
fingers, two
Instagram and
fingers,
stuff.
you pull up. Yep.
Yeah, and there was a chick who died in
Yeah.
China. 'Cause she was
Mhm.
taking these photos like on edges of buildings, and she fell and shit. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
fucking
Crazy.
good at.
No.
It's nuts.
At least listen, if you want to do that, wear a parachute. At least you have a fighting chance. But like they're out of their minds. Some people are I'm not a thrill seeker. I'm not a thrill
No,
seeker. I've done
no, no.
everything.
Nowadays you've
No,
got enough thrill seeking. We're just walking
exactly.
outside. You're a thrill seeker.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Getting to another topic, Kylie Irving. Listen, what's good for the
Kyrie.
goose is good for everybody. Kyrie. I apologize.
Kyrie,
Kyrie
Mr.
Irving.
I'm smarter than everybody. Kylie.
And he
Who the
said
fuck
some
is Kylie
pretty
Aaron?
vicious things, man. Like I read some of the things he said that like there was no Holocaust. I mean, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. That's like saying there's no slavery. I mean, that's fucking craziness, man. How do you say? I mean, so many people were perished in the Holocaust. To say something like that, I don't know how he gets a second chance. Actually, like this thing's been said so less than that. Like John Gruden, it said this was what he said was so vicious and so malicious and terrible. Like how is he still playing basketball? I don't know how he still has a job. Like, I get it, freedom of speech, but no one else has freedom of speech. Why does he? No one else has freedom of speech. Whenever everybody else has said something, they've lost their jobs. Roseanne Barr didn't have freedom of
Well,
speech.
he doesn't
Tim
have a
Allen,
job to lose. He's his own person. So you can't fight. He can't
of course
fire
he does. He
himself.
works for the NBA. No, he works for the NBA. Of
Oh,
course he can
Kyrie
get
Irving.
fired.
I was thinking of yeah. Well, I mean, what do you say? I just want
No,
to offer my deep apologies to all those who are
too
impacted over
late.
these last few
Too late.
weeks,
Too
especially
late.
my
Too
Jewish
late.
relatives, my black relatives, all races and
Forced, Lord.
colors.
It's all forced.
But
Too late.
when
Sorry. Too late.
didn't he
Too late.
just get in trouble because he retweeted some movie that was about the Holocaust or some shit, or there was some one of those things. He just comment and stuff like it wasn't like he
First
came
of all,
out. Did he say all that shit?
he's a terrible person. First of all, he's a terrible person. First of all, second of all, listen, I get freedom of speech. I get it. And I'm for it. But freedom of speech is for everybody. Then so many people have lost their jobs because of things they said. So many people, so many, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white. I don't care. If you're black and you say something wrong, you should have the same consequences if you're white. If you're white, you should have the same consequences as you're black. No matter what your color is, you should have the same consequences. You
Yeah.
can't say something like that. Listen, this is something that everybody should follow by. We can't have one and not the other. Kyrie Irving, whatever his name is, should be suspended. End of story. You shouldn't talk about
Yeah,
it. He should be suspended.
he tweeted the link to the film Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, which had, it was an anti-Semitic movie, I guess,
Well, what he
and
said,
then,
Doug, one of the things he said is that the slavery is real and the Holocaust is fake. Is one of the things he said, which is terrible. It's a
well,
terrible thing to
yeah.
say.
Well, there's a bunch of Holocaust deniers, right? There's people that deny the Holocaust and deny the fact that
They're
6
idiots. They're
million
called,
Jews.
they're called morons because
Yeah.
the Holocaust, this film of it, Hitler was a real person. There's people that my worker, the guy that works for me, Donnie, what a great guy. His grandfather was shot he was in a concentration camp. His family was shot in front of him. I mean, remember Miss Dietz in high school? She had the numbers in her lips. Remember Miss
Oh, I
Dietz?
thought it was on her arm.
No, I think she had in her lip. Maybe her arm too. I think she did have an arm. I think you're right. But the funny thing about it is,
when did Miss Dietz show you her other lip? Did she show it?
I don't remember. I know she had. Yeah, I know it was the lip. I thought she had like right here, but it might have been
on her arm. Jews
I
have
think she did on her arm. Yeah.
You're thinking of Wakanda. You're thinking of Wakanda when they had the fucking.
No, but no, they actually drilled them in the lips and the arm everywhere. They put their different places. But make a long story short, there's physical proof of the Holocaust, just like there's physical proof of slavery. But the problem is the limelight is taken away from that for 2 seconds. The limelight's taken away, and they don't like that. People don't like that.
Sure.
And the funny thing is, they're both real and they're both equally bad, but they're both equally history. They both happened years and years and years ago. We have to move on to get better. We have to move on as a country. We need to stop talking about the past and worry about the present. Okay.
Yeah, like Trump's got to stop talking about the 2020 election too. By the way, it's over.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Like I agree with that.
All right. Next story. Speaking of elections, Biden backers brace for the Hunter Biden revelations. Now that the Republicans have control of the House, oh my goodness, they're ready to roll out the investigations.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Never. It's just not. It's hidden. It's not going to happen, dude. It's just not, because believe me, it's not going to happen. And
you're basically saying because of the weaponization of the FBI, the DOJ, and all that stuff, they're going to try to suppress all that shit.
It's too deep. Yeah. It's not just Hunter Biden. There's shit on there that you couldn't dream about. It's too deep. Just like Giselle, no one knows about what happened with Giselle Maxwell. Come on, man. How many people?
Yeah.
You wrote somebody had 27 times. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Somebody had a great point. She was accused of sex trafficking with no fucking in other words, there was nobody arrested. In other words, if all this sex trafficking was going on, where are the people? Where are the Johns? Where are the John
people
Does?
that actually had sex
where
with
are the people that actually did that? Nobody.
Let me tell you where that. Let me tell you where that. I know they're in the Democratic Party. It's real simple. They're in the Democratic.
I think it's spread. I don't think one party. I don't think it's one party. I think it's elites and fucking power people.
I'll tell you what. It's the majority. The large majority. There's never one of anything. You can't say the word all on anything, but I would say it's over 90%. It's all Hollywood. Hollywood's all liberal. It's all Hollywood. It's all lawyers and doctors. They're all liberal. Let me tell you something. The reason why they named, let me tell you something. These were conservative names. Every fucking name would come out. Let Trump be on that fucking plane. Every name would have came out if these were conservatives. So, Doug, you're wrong. These are Democratic people on this list, and that's why not one name. I think Clinton rode that plane 27 times. What the fuck was on that island that he had to go 27 times? What's on that island? They have a merry-go-round? What they have?
Young pussy.
What they have? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, yes, and not to have one name come out, not one name come out. Why even lock her up? You couldn't get one name? Come on.
Yeah, where's that list? We want to see the list. We want to see who these people were, man.
Let me tell you something, Doug. So when you tell me about Hunter Biden's going down, whatever you want to bet, Doug, let me know. I'm a gambling man. Whatever you want to bet, I'll give you odds. Nothing will happen to Hunter Biden ever.
I disagree. Something's going to happen to him. The question is, if they can connect Biden, the big guy,
connected everything already. They have had this. They know everything they need to know.
Oh, more and more news agencies now are legitimizing the laptop. More and more people now, and that's why this article's about. It's like, listen, the powers that be, there's a surge here, and they realize that you will not be able to answer it or brush some of this shit under the rug. And this will all tail into, because it's just like Trump. They don't want Biden. Some Democrats don't give a shit. They're thinking, you know what? If in the next year or so, if this happens, so what? We get somebody else. We don't want Biden to run anyway. This is their scapegoat. They don't want Biden to run. So this may pass. This will happen because Democratic Party really doesn't want Biden to run.
Okay, so this is the next question real quick. Next question, we got to move on. This is the next question real quick. Normally, someone doesn't run against a sitting president. How many people run against Biden this time in the Democratic Party?
Oh, a dozen or so, a couple of people. There,
you
got a lot of people. Elizabeth Warren, that stupid ass. Hakeem Jeffries, who's going to probably get the Speaker of the House, or get the minority leader for the Democrats.
You know how stupid they're going to look? Do you know how stupid they're going to look when all these fucking people said how great he was, and now they're running for president, and they're going to say, "You're an asshole. You sucked. You did that." Yeah, but you endorsed me. You told me to come in. How is that going to work? Listen. I'm getting popcorn, getting specially made so I can watch the debate. This Democratic debate's going to be the greatest thing
Mark,
I've ever seen, ever,
Mark's
ever.
got Mark's got special made popcorn. So how
Dude,
else do you
I'm,
fucking
I'm,
make popcorn besides a microwave or a fucking popcorn machine?
dude, I can't wait. When I tell you I can't wait for this Democratic debate, I can't wait. If you're saying all these people are running, which I don't think they are, I don't think they're going to go behind one person. Maybe one person will run against them. I don't think there'll be
Could
12
you
people like that.
could you imagine the debate with DeSantis and Biden? It would be,
Oh God.
you know,
Oh
because
God.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about DeSantis versus Trump.
Hey, can it be
Trump's
any
just
worse than
entertaining.
Fetterman and Oz? Can it be any worse than Fetterman and
Oh
Oz?
well,
Okay.
no. I mean, no, no,
How'd
no.
that
But it's
work
going to
out?
be.
How'd that work
But
out?
but either Trump or DeSantis is going to be is much more powerful of a debater than fucking Oz. I mean, let's face it, he wasn't that great of a candidate himself, and that. Can you imagine losing? I mean, Oz. I mean, he just better just walk off the face of the earth, losing to that
I don't
fucking
think he
ogre.
lost, but I think there was a lot of cheating going on with that.
Well, we'll
How's,
see.
who do you know that voted for Fetterman? Do you know anybody in Pennsylvania that voted for Fetterman? Who voted? Who could
Yes,
consciously vote for this
liberal. Any
crackhead?
liberal? They voted. They just simply voted
But that's
because
not
they
Oz's
voted their
fault. That's
party.
not Oz's fault.
And who's
Oz
blaming
is an
who? I'm just
articulate
saying the
guy.
way it
No,
is.
you said you better hide and this and that. He's an articulate guy. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's
Yeah.
not a dummy, Oz.
Could you imagine if you lost the election to that guy? I
He
mean,
didn't
Jesus
lose, but
God.
he got cheated,
He
man. There's
did
no
lose,
way.
Mark. He did lost. Based on our current results, there is a
I
loss.
get it. I get it. I
Whether
get it.
something
I get
else is
that.
proven any other way, this is the app. This is
I
the
get
truth
it.
of
I
the
get it.
moment.
I get it.
So,
I get what you're saying, but it's hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom that this guy that can't speak correctly for 2 seconds in a row that
I
got
stand.
elected against an articulate guy like Oz.
I
That's
stand.
a very
I
smart
stand
man.
for standing,
Yeah,
and I stand, and I stand, and
exactly.
I stand.
Exactly. So you're telling me that it was fair, and I just don't believe it. It's like
I didn't
it's
say.
like
What did you say? Hold on a second. What are you, a Democrat now, putting fucking words in my mouth? I never say anything about being fair. I
you
just said
said,
the
Mark,
fucking thing.
it happened. Mark,
It's
it
the
happened.
results. I didn't say anything is fair. What did I edit? Did I audit the whole fucking? No, I
No,
didn't
but
do
I
it.
said it wasn't fair, and you disagreed with me. I said it
No, I
wasn't.
didn't say that. I said that the results are done. That's it. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever it is, I'm just telling you that's what happened. A winner was
was chosen.
decided,
I get it.
and
I
Oz
get
fucking you conceded. You know what I mean?
it.
Here's the thing: when you know things are getting crazy in this country, right? You remember in Florida? Anybody who lived in Florida? We had the great Cuban boat lift, right? In the
Yeah.
early '80s, and all these people came. Fidel Castro released all the prisoners out of the Cuban jails, and all these people started coming. But a Florida man allegedly stole a boat to return to Cuba. Said he disliked living in the USA.
He's a moron. Because I'll tell you what, the USA, I'll take over. And I don't care with Trump, with Biden, with you, with Fetterman. I will take. I've been all over the world. I'm a travel. I've been all over the world. I will take United States over any place in the world by far, and Cuba
Right.
especially Cuba. So this guy's a moron. I get it. He's making a point, but he's a moron.
I bet he had a hot piece of ass back there. He couldn't get his mind
He
off.
might have.
That's the only reason you go back to Cuba, because you got like a beautiful girl in Daisy Duke shorts driving around in a '56 Chevy, and
Exactly.
he's like, "Oh, baby, I miss you.
Don't worry, he'll be back.
All these
He better keep that
South
boat.
Beach bitches don't like me. All these South Beach bitches want money. I don't have money."
If I was him, don't sell the boat. Hold the boat because you're coming back. So don't.
He
sell
stole
the
it. He can't fucking. He stole it. He can't sell it.
Yeah, you can't bring it back.
Again, the world's smartest man, Mark. You can't even fucking. You can't sell a boat you stole, Mark. Okay, you.
Oh,
Mr. I'm
don't
smarter.
worry.
More
In
smarter.
Cuba, he can sell it. Don't worry. There's a lot of stolen cars in Cuba. That boat will be sold
Yeah.
in Cuba. I
Yeah.
guarantee you that. Yeah,
A
they're
boat
looking
is
for
a hot
registration in
commodity.
Cuba. Yeah,
A
I'm
boat
sure
is
in
a
Cuba.
hot commodity
do you have
in
your
Cuba.
registration for it in Cuba? I'm sure that's where it is. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.
Hey, Carlos, get a
people don't
big
steal
fucking
things and
swab of
resell
paint.
them.
Yeah, nuts.
All right.
This
So
was
what-
an interesting. This was interesting, Mark. How many people can you say you honestly trust?
Me.
You know what I mean? Well,
My wife.
I'm asking you, right? So
Yeah.
one person that's all you can honestly trust.
Okay, for what? For what? I mean, there's
Well,
degrees
trust,
of trust.
trust. No, there's no degree. Trust means you believe a person would hold be respectful to everything you have or own. In other words, like trust means you would let somebody, like in your home. Number one, you would let somebody borrow your car. You would let somebody, in a sense, like you trust them. You don't think they're gonna do any harm to you for personal gain.
Okay. To me, there's different degrees of trust. Okay, to run a business, to my banking account, loaning a car, I trust anybody. I don't give a fuck about my car. But there's always different. A doctor operating on me. There's always different degrees of trust. But I kind of get what you're saying, and I'm just trying to. That's why I said degrees of trust. The question you're asking is overall trust as far as everything, and my answer would be my wife, my dad, my mom. And I think it ends there. All around trust. All around
You
trust.
don't
Now I
trust me?
trust
You don't
people.
trust me? You don't think that if you asked me to do something, or like if you left me in your house for 2 or 3 days, I wouldn't try to sleep with
That
your wife, I
that
wouldn't
that
steal shit, I
that is
wouldn't.
that's why I said there's different degrees of trust. Do I trust you
Well,
in my
no,
house?
no, no,
100%.
there's not. There's a trust. The trust means you feel somebody won't do something that is their best interest, that in fear that infringes on your rights or personal property. They will do something that'll go against your well wishes or your best understand interests.
Okay. That's a
You
different degree
trust
than
them.
trust that I was thinking. I'm thinking about trust maybe running my company, trust for doing things as far as
Oh, who the
things I
fuck?
know how to do.
Who am I going to trust to hold me up in a chair? I mean, no, we're talking about trust, meaning you feel like somebody's honest and ethical, and you believe that no matter what happens, they'll never cross that line. You know,
Yeah.
from
I mean,
finding someone who is trustworthy, 40 or a good listener, 41%, to finding someone loyal, which is another, who's loyal.
there's
That's a
not a
big.
lot of
That's a
loyal
different way
people
of
out
looking.
there. There's not a lot of loyal
No,
people out there. I found that out. People that
no.
you think are loyal, that you know a long time, are not loyal. I mean, I found out the hard way. People that you really, 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 really know. I've been shocked several times from people that I gave the keys to the keys to a lot of things, and they just dropped it. They dropped the ball, man.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
there's a
mean,
difference between being trustworthy, or reliable. That's different. There
yeah,
are people that you would trust, but you don't. They can't be relied on. It's not that you're going to do
mhm.
something. To me,
That's
trust
part
means
of
that
trust.
somebody.
Reliable is being part of trust. It's part of trust.
Well, you could trust somebody and not rely on them, because trust, in a sense, because you don't they're just stupid. So you don't can't rely on them. Trust means you don't
That's why I
think they're
said there's
purposely going
different
to do
degrees. I
something.
know what you're saying, but I'm not going to get complicated on this. There's different degrees. I'm going to keep it simple. Trust, trust, trust. As far as everything, a
Okay, more
handful of
smarter.
friends.
I'm not going to complicate the issue. I'm not going to get more complicated. God damn it. So, any rate, so yeah,
Okay, so
that's the
can I
thing. You
finish
don't.
my answer? Can I finish my answer? You asked me a question.
Go ahead,
So
Mister
that
More Smarter.
so the answer is no one's as smart as you, Doug. But the answer is there's a handful of friends and my family. That would be the
Yeah,
answer.
yeah. There's probably at least a half a dozen people that I would trust. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I say, yeah, I don't think they're going to do something wrong.
Mhm.
So, hey, our last story, which is kind of funny because I love rock and roll music. I love the Black Crows. Right? I
I don't know if
love the
I
Black
love the
Crows.
Black Crows. Name three Black
Great,
Crow
great.
songs real quick. Name three Black Crow
Uh,
songs.
Three Black Crows songs.
You're a fan. Let's get them.
Jealous again. I'm jealous.
Okay.
She talks to angels.
Okay.
She talks to angels.
Give me the third one.
What was that? Third one. Oh fuck. I don't know. But
So hard
they
to
got they
handle.
got a
So
few.
hard to handle now.
Hard to
Okay.
handle.
I wouldn't
But here,
consider it. Yeah, great band, but they're a good band.
good
They're
band.
fun to listen. Yeah.
Brothers in the music. But this was a great. You got to watch this. People jump on the stage and shit, and people get pushed off. But roll this video. This one guy goes on stage, gets into a fight with the stagehand. The guitar player says, "Eat this, bitch." Run the video. Look at this guy. Fuck you, man. I want to dance.
He's fucked up.
Look at boom. Fuck it, it's with the guitar.
They were actually nice to him. They were actually nice to him. They should have fucking security. Terrible security, by the way. You had one
Yeah.
guy. Where'd you get this security at Target? What the one
Yeah.
guy, fat drunk guy, gets on stage? Is this the same guy who went to Nancy Pelosi's house? Is that the same guy that was at Nancy Pelosi's house? Seriously, what kind of
Yeah.
security do you have with 20,000 fans and one fat slob gets on stage? Where are these security guards? Fucking in kindergarten? That guy should have been fucking laid out. Laid out. Yeah, I hate that shit, man. I hate when you're trying to, not that I, perform like a musician, but I've done, different things. But I hate when people try and disrupt what you're doing. Just to disrupt your doing.
Yeah,
I'm an auctioneer, I've done auctions in front of people, and I just hate that. Like, let me do what I do, and you just enjoy the show. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
yeah. It's
yeah,
like
that
hecklers.
guy should have been smacked around. Exactly like hecklers. You deal with it all the time. I'm sure you do. You
Yeah,
handle it
you
pretty well.
know.
I've heard you come back at people. You know how to handle yourself.
Oh yeah, I love when people won't shut the
Yeah.
fuck up or
That's a
something. Well,
great
I
commitment.
don't actually like it.
Yeah, but that's the idea. That's when you really can handle yourself. That's the confidence that you have to handle somebody when he does. That's the best. That's the greatest comedian. I enjoy that the most sometimes. Like I seen recently. It was a great show, by the way. I seen Rob Schneider and Judge Apatow and who's the other guy? Nick Swardson. Oh my god, fucking
Yeah,
hilarious. But I seen those
yeah,
three guys. Nick Swardson was so funny. I went and seen him the next day by himself. He's a great comedian, by the way. But I
yeah.
seen a
Funny
couple
dude.
people trying to heckle, and I'll tell you what, a good
Would you
comedian
go to?
knows
Would you
exactly
went to
what
the?
to say.
You saw Schwarzen at the Dania Improv?
I seen a Daniel Private, and then I seen him at the Hard Rock. And by the way, I'm son and I love the guy. One of my favorite people on the planet. I've met him several times. He bombed. He's terrible. He's
Oh
not a
yeah,
good comedian.
yeah.
He's not.
How about Nick's opening act?
He was funny. He was funny. I liked
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Guy
Yeah,
from
he was funny.
Orlando, a friend of mine, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's pretty good. He's pretty good. But Nick
yeah,
Swardson's a special kind of funny. He's a good comedian. I love him.
yeah. Well, that's all we got time for.
That Yeah. That being said, we're all done, man. I enjoyed the show, man. I thought this was a good show. I love having you, Doug. It was great. Me, man, we're just doing what we do and we enjoy it. I buy gold, silver, everything we buy at our shop. Come see me. I'm open 5 days a week, Saturday by appointment. And Doug is always doing something. He'll tell you what he's doing right now.
Yeah, like I said, this Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm going to be at the Comedy Cabana in Myrtle Beach. And then if you, I'm going to, I don't know, I hope it stops snowing, but I'm going to be in Utica, New York, December 2nd and 3rd at the Fat Cats Comedy Club headlining. I just hope I don't have
Nice.
to fly into a blizzard. You can imagine.
That would suck.
You know,
That sucks. Yeah.
I don't even know if I have the right clothes.
Yeah. There's no right clothes. I love when people say I don't have the right. What right clothes do you have? The -5 degrees. I mean, what do you wear? Fucking, there's no right clothes for that shit.
I'm going to have to wear
And
like
so
multiple jackets.
yeah, I hate the cold weather, man. I love Florida. I just hate cold weather. Even when it's like
Yeah.
slightly cold. It got to like 50 degrees here. I'm like, fuck this. I'm staying in the house. I hate cold weather. There's no reason for it. It really isn't.
Yeah.
That
That's
being
funny.
that being said, everybody, enjoy what you do, man. Please watch and share, man. It's simple to do. We ask every week. We're growing every time we do a show. We get more people. I look at it. More people are viewing us, and like I said, it's a real simple thing to do, and it shows that you care. Make some comments too once in a while, so we know that you're listening. And simple thing to do, man. Go to YouTube and just subscribe. That's it.
There you go.
Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Doug, anything you want to add to that?
No, don't get too fat on the week during this week, and God bless everybody, and be kind to your fellow human being.
Yes. Peace.